Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 112. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time truly is our greatest asset. And the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. Today, I want to jump in and talk about planning. And I know for some, it's not a very popular or desirable topic yet. It's the time of year that we really need to take a peek at planning for our upcoming year. And for me, this is really a cool time when things are melding together. We're in this window of reflection, meeting our new vision. And what I mean by that is, in order for us to move forward, so if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, leader of any kind, and you're forecasting and planning your 2026, now's the time to do it. And also, reflection is so critical to help us cast our vision for the upcoming year. So a lot of times we just put aside our old plan, take it for what it was, and don't reflect on it and just move right into the next year, making a strategy, maybe copy and pasting, doing whatever, but missing out on a key opportunity to reflect on what went really well for you in the previous year, maybe what didn't go so well. So I want you to really think about that. We're not going to look back with regret or curiosity, just reflection. We're going to take a moment. It's not about shame. It's really strictly about helping you formulate a strategy to move forward into your next year with the greatest opportunity possible to move towards the new goal that you've set for yourself. So it's not about, reliving your past. Just know that it's really about collecting data that's going to help us design your upcoming year. So I want you to take a minute and ask yourself, are you the person who might be avoiding reflection because it feels a little judgy, or it might feel a little depressing, or it might be have a lot of negative emotion around it, when all that it really is a form of data collection? That's all we're doing. We want to go back and look at 2025 through the lens of what were my wins, what were my misses, what were my surprises, what is the information that I'm looking for, because that information is going to help us move forward. I don't want you to think about your past as necessarily a scorecard, as much as I'd like to invite you to think about it as a dashboard. It's just there to show you the information that you need to process and operate at a really high level as you move into strategizing for the next year. So even though it's you, I'm going to ask you to think about something. Detach emotion from the reflection. I was talking to a group of really talented entrepreneurs the other day, and there were some judgment emotions around reflecting on what we did in the previous year. And for me, reflection on what went well, what didn't go well is somewhat exciting, because I'm detached from judging myself or criticizing myself. And I'm truly just looking at raw data. I just want the information that I need to strategize moving forward. So for me, I take it from a consultant perspective when I'm looking at building my own business plan. I remove myself as the owner, operator, leader, and I just act as if a company presented to me what their plan was for 2025 and what they actually did, and consulting them on that data. Remove yourself from the equation as a participant. And it takes a minute to do that, because we all judge ourselves greater than anybody else were to ever judge us. Yet we tend to do that when we're doing reflection, especially if we didn't hit our goal. And some may go on a defensive mode, right? It wasn't me, it was the market, it was all the stuff that was happening. How could anybody make goal given everything that's going on? Or some people move into a beat yourself up type of mode. How stupid were you? Why couldn't you get it done? If you just would have done this, you would have had more success. Who are you to think that you could have even done that? We go into a couple different modes. I'm just asking you to go into a reflection mode of collecting data. So for us here at Rethink Coaching, there were some areas that we did great, and there were some areas that we did okay. And for me, I'm focusing on all of the great things that we did to make sure that we can duplicate it and grow it for next year and making sure that it's still in alignment with the direction we're going. And then also looking at the things that we just didn't do so great and being really honest with myself. If I look at the actions and strategies that I planned that didn't go great, meaning they didn't get me to the goal that I thought they would, I first just want to reflect and ask myself, how did I show up in that area? So if I had a specific strategy that if I would have shown up and actually done it, I probably would have got to the results that I was looking for. But if I showed up on a scale of 0 to 10, anything less than an 8, I think it's pretty ridiculous that I would even consider that I would have got the result that I had planned, because my plan showed on me showing up at 8, 9, or 10, but I chose to show up as a 6. It's not the plan, it's you. So part of it, we just have to reflect and say, okay, is this still a good strategy? If I show up at an 8, 9, or 10, is the strategy still going to move me forward toward my goal? And I think that's really important for you to look at, is to assess, is it the strategy or is it how you showed up? And that's, again, not being judgy. If I was a consultant, I would ask that question. I would ask the person, if you were to rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 10, where do you put yourself in terms of rating how you showed up against the action that you planned? And if it is lower than you would like to see it, for me, anything that's lower than an 8, I really didn't deserve to hit goal. I need to really dive into that and figure out, what is it that I didn't do and why? If the strategy didn't work, it doesn't mean you failed necessarily. It means you just missed the opportunity that was in front of you. And you now have new information to extract from that opportunity or failure to position yourself to be successful the following year. The other important thing to do, the third thing I'm going to ask you to do, is to spend some time looking at results that you got that were based upon a strategy or action that you took that wasn't in your 2025 business plan. A lot of times we get results from an area that we weren't planning on, and we get excited about it. And if we are getting results from an action, but that action wasn't part of our business plan, we need to take a moment and ask ourselves, should it be? Is this something that I could do consistently? Is this something that I could do that I could predict the results? Meaning, when I do this, I get this. And can we measure them? That's the best gift in life that we can have as a business owner, is to look at it and say, okay, is it predictable? Can I forecast what would happen if I did this strategy? And do I have the numbers I need to know? For instance, if I reach out to, 20 people that I worked with 5 years ago, and that's the strategy, so I just happened upon it in 2025 and I got results, can I predict results from it? And if the answer is yes, I might need to consider adding that into the strategies I'm going to implement moving into the next year. A lot of times we don't take that into consideration. We just take it as it was luck, or it just happened. And we need to realize that, can we duplicate that? Because if we can, and we already have evidence that it works, you're setting yourself up for success. So there's value in the unexpected win. Take a moment to really reflect on every piece of business you got. Where did it come from? Did it come from one of the strategies you had forecasted for the upcoming year? If it showed up, but it's not one of those strategies, what is the strategy you used? What was the action you took? Can we do more of that? Can we duplicate it? It's really simple, but we overlook it all the time. The number 4 thing is the right kind of data. So again, you want to look at success data, what I did that worked, habits, relationships, strategies, what gave me real traction. Really pay attention to that, because again, we have proven results that it worked. Likewise, you're going to pay attention to what didn't work, right? The opportunity data. What surprises were there? What new patterns were there? What did we do in that? It's not to judge, but how could we recode that strategy to get the result that we wanted? And then just those opportunity data points that we talked about, things that showed up that weren't in your strategy, but actually worked. Just pay attention to that data, because that's what we're going to use when we move forward. What's worth repeating? What I do in 25 that if I repeat it in 26 will give me results. What is worth releasing? Okay, so I want to talk about this for a minute. A lot of times when we're reflecting and we say that is a really great strategy, I showed up as a 5. And so if I would have showed up as an 8, 9, or 10, it would have worked. And we think, okay, we're going to copy and paste. And because we know it would work if we showed up, we're going to say that we're going to do it. Yet, if you have a thought, feeling, energy, or emotion that is keeping you from taking action and you don't clean it up, you're never going to do it. Or if it's something that truly goes against your core values and is no longer in alignment with the values you have as a business owner, you need to release it. It's really not beneficial at all for you to say, I'm going to repeat this behavior, but I'm just going to show up as an 8, 9, or 10 when we've never shown up as an 8, 9, or 10 for that activity. And yet we've got activities that weren't in our plan that gave us results. We need to release what didn't work and replace it with what worked that wasn't in the plan. And I say that with caution. We really want to be honest, get real, get right with ourselves and look at those things before we release it. Is it something I would be willing to do? Is it something that I've had a coach to help me with that I can understand at a higher level? I would be excited about doing. Is it something that a script or a mentor or additional training could help me get to the result? And I'm excited about it. Then we want to keep it. But if it's one of those things that I don't care how many times I see somebody do it, I'm never going to do it, release it. Get it out of your plan and replace it with something else that you know works. It's really, really that easy. A lot of this is reflection and some of it's reimagining. And so I just really want you to pay attention to the things that worked, didn't work, and that worked that weren't in the plan, and ask yourself, should I repeat it? Should I release it? Those are really important questions. It's okay to release it if you're never going to do it. There's nothing worse than when you say you're going to do versus your video of what you're doing are out of alignment, because it's extremely frustrating. From a brain place, from a NLP position, to have an activity on your plan that you know you committed to, yet you know you're not going to do, can pull you down. You go sometimes into avoidance. You look for busy work to justify why you're not doing the activity. You do a lot of things to avoid it and to justify it in your brain, when the reality of it is, if you just released it and replaced it with something that you would do or something that excited you, it's a healthier place for your brain to be. It sees a possibility. It's not going to work against you, meaning talking you out of doing it. It's actually going to help you find the way to get the activity done. Talked about this a little bit, avoid the copy paste trap. Last year's goals with new dates is really not a new business plan. It's not. If you missed your goal, and if you missed it substantially, we need to look at the real goal that we're going to set. Here's the deal. If we fell short of goal, let's say we fell short of goal by 40%. If we set that same number for the next year, we might be setting ourselves up for similar failure or frustration, because the 40% increase in business is pretty drastic. I am not the coach that says, oh, just double it. It'll cause you to get anxious about it and make you take activity knowing that you double your goal. I don't believe that's a great strategy. But if I'm 40% off of my actual versus my goal, I don't want to totally reduce the goal. But what I probably should do is take my actual and add 15 to 20% to it. So my overall goal in that situation, I finished 40% less. But the next year, if I add 20% to what I actually did, my goal is going to be less than this year's goal, yet it's more realistic. And in that situation, I would encourage my clients to add the 20%, but also to maybe set a stretch goal, to set last year's goal and to have it out there as a stretch, but focus on the 20% increase of business. So copy paste is not writing a business plan. It's doing everything we talked about prior to that and really getting honest about where you're going to finish or where you're finishing, and set your next year goal based upon that as your baseline. There's nothing more frustrating than to increase a goal you didn't make for the upcoming year. It sets you up for failure from the beginning. Number 6, do some future framing. Design that 2026 plan. I think it's really important, and I do this with the clients that have the privilege of coaching, is we assess every activity that we're doing. I have you assess the activities that you do on the regular. So usually 7 to 10 activities every week you do on the regular. And I have you assess 4 things. Is it high value or low value? High value simply means I'm getting results from it on the regular. Low value means I'm either never or rarely getting a result. Do I love it or do I not love it? Do I love it? Do I hate it? And what we're looking for is to find those things to bring forward with us that fuel us and result in joy or that we love doing. Because why not structure your business and activities on the things that you love doing? Now, they have to give you results, right? You can, I just love going and having coffee with people. Well, I love that too. Did it get me results? You have to have the match. High value, love. High impact, high value activities coupled with you loving it, at least liking it, are going to create a structure for you that you actually might enjoy your business again. So take a peek and really assess what you could do to create the environment that you want. That's part of the joy of being an entrepreneur. Even if you work for a corporation, can you structure your activities based upon the things that bring you joy, that bring you excitement, that has you wake up in the morning ready to go to work versus the thought of it's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. After today, I have 3 more days. We don't want to do that. So give yourself permission to structure things in a way that results with joy. Eliminate busy actions that no longer align or are moving you forward. We all do it to make ourselves feel better. Let's be honest. We all do it because if I'm busy, I'm doing something, and our mind at the end of the day is like, oh my gosh, I was so busy today. I was doing all this stuff. Well, were they the right things or the wrong thing? Were they activities that you created to distract yourself from doing the actual activities that would move you forward? Spend some time in this area of eliminating busy activities that aren't moving you forward. We hide behind things, team. Let's be honest. There's a lot of times that I will want to do something that will keep me busy just because it feels good. And my brain will convince me to go ahead and do that while I leave the heavy lifting things kind of just floating around in the background. When if I did the heavy lifting first, I would see the results and I wouldn't have to do the busy work just to make myself feel better. So really take a minute and assess what busy work can I eliminate that is not moving me forward. Give intentional space for the right more. All right. So when you go through that list, let's say you have 7 to 10 activities you do on the regular. If you have 3 that are high value, high impact, and that you like or love, give that the attention. That's the right more. If I've got these other activities that are not getting me results and I hate them, I probably should not give those a whole lot of attention unless I have figured out a way to change it. If you figured out a way to change the results and a way to do it that you like it, then give it attention. But really, that document or that assessment that you're going to do is exactly what you need to become aware of the right more, meaning the right things that you should be doing versus the wrong. I want you to look at your upcoming business plan and business strategy session really as a life plan versus a business plan, because when it's done right, it impacts your life. When it's done wrong, it impacts your life. So really take this seriously about what life do I want to live in 2026. I always say this, I look at 4 categories when I am setting the foundation for my work moving forward. What's the impact on me, the impact on my family and friends, the impact on my team, and the impact on my legacy? I really like to make sure that as I'm looking to move forward, that I've got those core items addressed, because that helps me stay focused and be intentional about what I'm going to do. So as you move forward into the upcoming year, if you fell short of goal, have a 5-minute funeral if you have to. Be mad at yourself, be upset, be angry, be sad, be depressed, cry, scream, whatever you need to do, get it over with. And then look at it just as data without emotion and reflect on what you did well and what you didn't do so well. and make decisions if you're going to continue to do those strategies. If you've got things that worked that weren't in your strategy, but they worked, and if you did it again, it would work again, you can start floating those in and replacing the actions that are depleting you of energy or that you don't like doing. There are times where we'll get results from an action that we hate doing, and sometimes we tolerate it because we're getting results. But if you know of an activity that you get results and you like doing, what if we did more of that? I promise you, if you enjoy it, you're going to show up at a higher level. If you just think to our thought flow model, right? Thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. If my feelings, energy, and emotion are that I dread doing it, when I take action, I may get results. Chances are I'm not getting the level of results I could if my feeling, energy, and emotion were positive. So if I replaced that with something that felt good, that made me enjoy the activity again, chances are my results are going to be better. So assess what you need to do. Spend time with the story you want to create for yourself in 26. Before I do my plans, I set the goal that I want to achieve, and then I'm going to reflect on strategies. But one important thing that I do is I cast a letter to myself that it's December 15th, 2026. This is what I accomplished. This is the impact it had on me, family, friends, team, legacy. These are the amazing things that I was able to do. And I speak as if it's already happened. Like it's done. I experienced it. I don't talk about, in 2026, I'm going to do this. I act as if the year is over and those things have come true. It's a great way to shape your upcoming year in a way that resonates with your brain, thinking it's already been done. And now your brain feels really comfortable that if I do these activities, I've got the evidence that it's worked before it's ever worked. It's just a beautiful way to enhance your planning. So embrace business strategy, life plan. There's so much to be grateful for that we have almost completed another year as business owners, entrepreneurs, or leaders, and that we've got really raw data to use to help us as we forecast for the upcoming year. The other thing I'm going to ask you to consider is, did you write the plan in, let's say, October of 2024 for 25? And after you wrote it, did you just put it away? Or did you use it? Did you implement it? Did you reflect on that plan often? Did you make sure that you're staying the course with the activities that you strategize were going to get you to goal? Here's what I know. You're smart. If you wrote a plan, I would say there's a 90% chance if you followed it, you'd get to goal. So as you prepare for the upcoming year, write a life plan, a business strategy life plan that you're going to feel comfortable having it alongside the ride with you. That's a living, breathing document. If you're like me, you print it off and you have it pen and paper, because I love making notes. I love making small adjustments and tweaks that are going to help me move towards that goal. At the end of the year, my business plan looks like it has been through the mill. And for me, that means that it worked. That means that I was working it. So reflect, when you wrote your plan for 25, was it all pretty and neat and then you put it away, or it's living in some electronic storage in your laptop, your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever it is, and it hasn't been touched or used? I think that's the biggest disservice that we can give to ourselves, is not actually using the plan that we wrote and not being okay with making little pivots along the way with the plan we wrote to ensure success. So reflection's not about regret. Please get that. Reflecting is just really a time of cultivating data. It's data collection. That's it. We have unexpected wins. Take a look at those. Those could be the biggest gift that are just there saying, hey, look, it works. Why not do more? Spend time assessing that data, what worked, what didn't work, what worked that I didn't have planned. Don't copy and paste. Do not copy and paste. Unless one of those activities worked really, really well, copy and paste that, but figure out how you're going to plus it by 20%. Spend some time reflecting, refining, and reimagining. This is what we get to do. We get to create a business that we like. We get to create a business full of actions that bring us joy and happiness. Do not create a business plan of drudgery. You won't do it. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please feel free to reach out to me. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is the easiest way to find me, and I will respond to you there. Go make it a great week. Start thinking about your plan. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.